So we're going to talk about some Shang-Chi today because this is the most promising property we have coming in the next few years. So what is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Shang-Chi, and I'm very excited to talk about this movie because it's very promising. It's going to be pretty badass. So if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss any videos. We are currently giving away EndGame on Blu-ray. All you got to do is subscribe to this channel and also follow me on Twitter at WWarstu and send me a message to let me know. You've got to do that in order to be in a chance to win EndGame on Blu-ray. So just let me know once you've done that, and I will pick a winner in about a week's time, and then we'll go from there. I'll pick a winner on Twitter. So let's get into this video. So a few days ago, I did a video on this Shang-Chi possible leak. And ever since I've done that, Shang-Chi articles, other YouTube videos, etc., they've been appearing everywhere. So although that plot leak didn't factually have much information, since then there's been a lot of information. And I want to break down the nonsense to the factual information. So let's get into this video. So as we know, Shang-Chi will be coming out in 2021. And there's been a lot of information over the last couple of days saying this movie is already shooting. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. It could be shooting. I mean, it's not coming out in 2021. I mean, movies like Venom that comes out next year hasn't even started shooting. So we're going to go over a few websites to see what is actually going on. I've been talking to some insiders as well, and the stories don't add up. So blackfilm.com also reported that production on Shang-Chi is set to begin during the first half of 2020. That makes a lot of sense. It's Sydney, Australia. We know it's going to shoot in Sydney, Australia. It was previously expected that Shang-Chi would start production next month, but that seems unlikely considering casting news has been quiet since Comic-Con. Beyond that, there certainly would have been more leaks or reports regarding cast production choices. It is certainly promising that the film has already begun prep in Australia. Yes, that is factually true, but it's safe to say that Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi won't be rolling cameras immediately. So this is from heroichollywood.com. So they're saying it's not shooting to early 2020, essentially reporting from blackfilm.com. Then I'm talking to a contact I've got that says he's seen production crew-ish in Atlanta studios, which makes sense. And then I'm talking to an insider that has told me that the crew have told him that essentially the movie is already shooting, which is interesting. And then we look on the main star's Instagram page, Mr. Luke, and on the 19th of October, he posted a picture in Bono Beach, which is in Australia. Now, he doesn't generally live in Australia, but just because he's in Australia, guys, doesn't mean that they are shooting Shang-Chi. Now, I do believe, based on the insider that told me that they have started shooting, that I believe they are now shooting, which is pretty cool. I'm very excited. So we're going to go over another potential leak about what is coming up. But like I always say, guys, take with a pinch of salt because it's basically a Reddit post. Well, it's not a Reddit post, but I found it on Reddit and it's just as reliable as Reddit is. So it's coming from a website called mcucosmic.com that's been right about a lot of things, but it's also been wrong about a lot of things. It's coming from someone called Jeremy Conrod also. So like I said, guys, this website's been pretty good in the past. Also, it's been pretty bad in the past. So take it with a pinch of salt. What I tend to do now, guys, is I go over a story and then I go over, do I think it's true? Do I think it's false? Because what tends to happen is it doesn't matter if a story is true. One story comes out, every single comic book website under the world reports it like it's factually correct. So we don't know. Like I said, guys, this probably isn't more reliable than your basic 4chan or Reddit. But you guys seem to like the plot leak I went over the other day about the potential Shang-Chi plot leak, which we will briefly go over at the end of this video for people that haven't noticed that video or don't care for that video. So let's get into the villains. Apparently, there's going to be multiple villains. Obviously, we already know, based on what we know, the 10 Rings, the Mandarin is going to be the overall villain, but there is going to be a few other villains also in this movie. So according to the Hybrid Entertainment website, the working title for this movie is Steamboat. Now, Marvel and a lot of Hollywood studios tend to do this to confuse the locals in the area so they can't spoil if they see anything, they make up a title. So this website is citing that they have to assume this title is a nod to the Asian America wrestler Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, which is very interesting. So what I find interesting about this and why I'm skeptical about this is generally before a movie starts to shoot, we get a lot of casting notices, casting listing, like who's going to be in the movie leak. Now, as I said, we have been over a potential plot leak, but except for San Diego Comic-Con back in July, and we're now nearly not November, we haven't had any other information come out about who's actually going to be in this movie. So I'm still a bit skeptical, but I trust the source that is telling me they're shooting because they're doing pre-production already. So like the main star's there, so obviously he's there for some reasons. So what is interesting is, as I said, this article said there's going to be multiple villains coming out. So let's go over exactly what this article says. Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is rapidly approaching production in Australia. Usually they tend to shoot stuff in Atlanta in America, or in London generally, and soon there will be people added to the cast, which is weird, right? Because like I said, guys, they haven't started, if they've started shooting, we don't know who's in it except for the people they announced at San Diego Comic-Con. We've also heard that Marvel is looking for other heroes, Clive Reston and Liku Wu. Obviously I might butcher these names, so let's go on. But now it looks like Shang-Chi's adversaries are being cast. While the Mandarin will be the primary villain, it looks like Shang-Chi will have to go through several other villains from his comic books before he gets to the big bad. According to casting information, Marvel is looking for the movie Steel Claw. There's no real equivalent of this character in the comics. Whoever is cast will need to know martial arts. It's possible this is going to be Tiger Claw, who is big Shang-Chi villain. Moving Shadow, Razor Fist, and Ghostmaker. These three villains are from the Shang-Chi comics, although Ghostmaker name seems to be modified from the comic book Ghostmaker. This may sound like a lot of villains, but a big rumor, and it is a rumor, take it with a pinch of salt, that this movie may involve a Bloodsport style underground fight tournament, and that's where Shang-Chi could face off against a lineup of characters, such as what was listed before. Now, although I don't know if any of this is real, like I said, it's from someone called Jeremy Conrad from MCUcosmic.com. He's been right, he's been wrong. So, like I said, guys, take it with a pinch of salt. I found it on Reddit. Now, it is interesting because that would be awesome. Like a kind of Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Tiger of the Dragon, like a massive fight tournament would be insane. We've never had that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And as I've said before, the next phase, we don't know what it's going to be like. I don't think this movie will be for everyone. It's not going to be your standard generic Marvel Iron Man movie. It's going to be a martial art, Jet Li, Bruce Lee, Kung Fu, Master of Kung Fu based movie. And I'm really excited for what the MCU could be. Because at the moment, the MCU is typecast as a genre about generic, boring superheroes. So movies like Shang-Chi will literally mess up what everyone thinks the MCU actually is. And I'm very much looking forward to this happening. Now, we did go over a plot leak the other day. We're going to generally go over it, but because this plot leak doesn't really correspond to the information coming from that website. But what is interesting is people are saying there's no plot leaks of casting, but have you not seen this one here? Because this goes over so much information. And also I found a different plot leak that claims this movie's set in the past, and for some reason it says that Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark will be in this movie with Nick Fury in some kind of scene. So it is interesting because at the moment we don't know when the Shang-Chi movie's set. It could be set in the past. Now, Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark is dead in the current day, but if this movie's set in the past, maybe he could be in it. So it goes on and says the dragon Fin Fang Foom will appear in this movie. Now, this corresponds with a lot of articles that date back 7 to 8 months. So essentially in this leak it says Shang-Chi is recruited by the MI6 to prevent his father, the Mandarin, from retrieving the legendary 10 rings in order to conquer the world. Liu and Tony are playing Shang-Chi and the Mandarin. Shang-Chi is aided by MI6 agent Clive, who was also in the other story that we went over, and that that just adds some kind of validity to the story if they're both checking out the other. So the most interesting part about this is where it says the Mandarin and forces, including Shang-Chi's half-sibling, Cursed, Lotus, and Moving Shadow, which Moving Shadow was in the previous story from MCU Cosmic that we went over. So again, obviously this leak came out before that story, so it adds validity to this. And it says Deadly Assassin, Nye. So if you look over both this plot leak and what was posted on that website, they do correlate in parts with each other. Mad Scientist Lancaster, Zhang Okwufin, is cast as Cursed Lotus, while Joe has been approached for Moving Shadow. David is in advanced talks for Nye, and BD Wong is cast as Zhu. Constant Liu is in talks for Mai Ling Shang-Chi's mother. I might butcher some names, guys. Seriously, I'm not used to saying these words because I don't hear these names very often. So that is pretty much what the 4chan leak said. And it also did say that Piers Brosnan is in talks for MI6 agent. So, but I don't really believe that part. But I think a lot of this is coming true because, like we say, this Jeremy Conrad person from MCU Cosmic, it is line up with Moving Shadow, Ghostmaker, and some stuff that was said over here. So maybe check out this article. But this article has literally been shared everywhere. But there's no actual concrete evidence. There's no, like, it says casting notices, but I like evidence with kind of a casting sheet and stuff where you can physically see it. But I'm just going to say it's a rumor for now. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. Do you think these villains have been added? Do you think there is going to be some kind of, I guess you say, Mortal Kombat kind of fighting tournament? It would be crazy insane if you're an Injustice fan or a Mortal Kombat gaming fan. This should be very interesting, should be very promising to you guys. So like I said, guys, at the start of the video, if you want to enter the competition to win Endgame, all you got to do is follow me on Twitter and send me a message over on Twitter at WWarstu. Like always, guys, I'll catch you in another video very soon and catch you later.